Good morning. There's my boy, Luca Brazzi. We're on a trail here up on Mount Bigelow going down to the Palisades Ranger Station. And I'm listening in my head, my let pop. Flip it here. Walking through this pretty valley. And, he's got me fired up. Ed always gets me fired up. The podcast I'm listening to, I'll put in the notes at the bottom here. It's actually with Ed Milet talking to Brendan Bouchard, and they are two of the top, high performance coaches in the world, I would say. I mean, you Google it and you come up with your own opinions. But, Ed Milet, he actually like coaches Tom Brady, right? So, that I would just encourage anybody and everybody to check out Ed Milet podcast. It doesn't matter who you are. I believe male, female, young or old, he's got content for you. I believe he cares. Because the thing is, he could be doing a lot of other things and is doing a lot of other things. His podcast is free, always has been, and he's a real mentor for me. But he's talking to his other buddy, Brendan Bouchard, and I think Brendan Bouchard is also an excellent human being. They are both businessmen, so they have high net worth, and they still really help people, And I gotta say, I'm up here taking some time away from downtown and work and just trying to hug some trees and recharge. And I woke up this morning and just was feeling terrible. I was feeling terrible, and I just don't understand. I think that's the problem right now with I think it's tied to the grief of my mom. I keep trying to set it behind me. I keep trying to say, shit, it's almost been a year. It's time to move on. It's time to get your next thing going. And everybody that I talk to about losing my mom says I'm early on into it. And it's almost like too, it's like a underlying thing. Because it's not like I'm sad all the time. It's, I'm moving forward. My family's moving forward. We're getting on with our lives. But, like my example is I watch my iPad, and, it's her iPad. I inherited it from her. And so there's always going to be something like that, I guess. That's what I was thinking this morning. There's always going to be something like that. That it's going to remind you, maybe bring that grief back a little bit. And and I don't also understand how I could be in such a beautiful spot, having literally a campsite on the top of a mountain and feel so crappy. It's kind of amazing. Got some people on the trail here. I'm gonna pause it. Hold on one second. Luca and I are back on the trail. I always want to give people their privacy when they're here. Kind of see, look at that. It's just a beautiful trail. So what's going on that I'm waking up in the morning just feeling terrible? Like, I'm choosing my words very carefully. But I wake up feeling hopeless. I wake up feeling like if I didn't have Luca to feed, I wouldn't get out of bed. If I didn't have Luca to go walk every day, I really, truly wonder. And there's days where he's nuzzling me. He wakes up and nuzzles me every day. That is the only time he nuzzles me, unless he wants a treat or something. He's not the most lovey-dovey, sit next to you kind of guy. But every morning he wakes me up. Every morning he says, let's get out there and let's go do life. And I gotta say, guys, I don't need anybody's pity. I just want to share how I'm feeling when it comes to life that I feel, recently it's been so new, I've never felt it, but I feel like, what is the point of life some mornings? What is the point, Harley? It's like I can't find any joy. It's like I don't care about riding bikes anymore. Maybe I need to get out on the paddleboard more. There's not a huge amount of lakes down here. But it's just like life is bland, and I can be at 8,000 feet having a great day, and life is bland. So, that's where I think a little bit of routine has helped me. The routine is get up, feed Luca, get going, and down in Tucson, if you don't get out and walk him and be done with it by 8 o'clock, it's like 100 degrees, and it's not good for him, it's not good for his feet, it's not good for me. So, also getting up a lot early. I mean, I don't even know what it is. My biological clock gets up like 5:30 now, even if I'm tired. So, maybe it's changed the life. I don't feel like I'm that old. But, listen to the Ed Milet podcast with Brendan Bouchard. He kind of says you got to start planning your life around your one thing again. And, I think my one thing has honestly been trying to heal and try to feel normal again, and try to do life. If I'm honest with you guys, like, it's been really hard to just do life. I remember I started seeing a counselor in January, and I remember the first time I went there, I went to, because I had to go to like a group meeting before I could get placed with a counselor, and I said, I don't want to eat, I don't want to do anything, I just don't want to. I like, everything's anxious, everything's worry. And there's also this just loss of shock of like where I'm at, or shock of the loss of my mom. My mom was, I can say, a huge part of my life. My biological dad has never been in my life. He actually, probably was a bad influence, because he'd call every couple years and say, I'm sending you a card or something, and never did. And I'm learning how to heal all of that. But my mom I was her one thing, and I think of my sisters, and I think of people that have kids, how, they have that one purpose, is to take care of their kids, and they have that light inside of them taking care of their kids. And, like, I love my nieces and nephews. I want to be the best Uncle Harley. I want to be their favorite, is what I learned. And, I love my dog. You can see he's a great boy. It's just kind of not the same. So my mom had me, and I was her light and shining armor, right? Like, the hugs were abundant. But you know what? My mom put herself through college, too. She worked 3 jobs. I learned when I had to have been 3 years old or less, how to make a bed with her. We were cleaning people's houses for money. We came to Colorado in the summertime so she could make money being a server there, and somebody could watch me. But somebody was always watching me, and that she was all I had. And then my dad came into the picture at age 10, and my sister came into the picture at age 12, and I had a stepsister whom I love, but she didn't really live with us, and she had her own mom that kind of had the same relationship as I did with mine, I think. And so what I've got to admit is that even though I have a dad now and a sister and a family, that loss of my mom was probably the one thing in my life that I valued the most. And I've told people this, and I'm having a hard time. I think I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around whatever that means, and she was such a good person that she was a big loss for everybody in my family. And it's made me really a lot closer to a lot of my family. My relationships are closer than they were, prior to all of this, I would say. I can call up anybody and really connect. But don't mitigate your losses is what I'm kind of saying. Don't underestimate how big a loss some things can be. I think I've been really beating myself up for not being able to move on. I know I have. I don't understand why I'm not a capable human being like I have been my whole life. I don't understand why I can't just rock out on my goals and go want to do fun, happy things. I have been the person who actually gets people to go on events. I'm the guy that gets people to go do the end of the year tailgating party. I'm the guy that got my dad to go to the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. And that was kind of a bucket list item for him. And I remember how much fun he had, and this was 3 weeks after we put my mom in the ground. So it's just something that, I remember it a little bit bittersweet because I think it was so close to putting mom in the ground. I think as soon as we got done with this fun event and the Detroit Lions were doing great, they won the game, that's when the letdown happened, and that's when the winter started, and I went into some very, very, very deep, dark places. And the only thing I can tell you is I'm feeling better. I'm feeling way better. That's what carries me nowadays, is that I'm not as such a terrible dark spot as I was then. There's a comparison. But if you guys, we're all going to end up losing somebody. And you're probably going to end up losing whoever the most close person to you is. That's the nature of life. And I meet with people. We do a grief share group, and I do what I can. But I think what I want to share this morning with everybody is that it's a process, number one, and number two, there's no roadmap to it. There's trail maps. I can follow the trail to get to wherever. There's no roadmap for grief. There's no roadmap for a lot of things in life. But what I can say from listening to my Ed Milet podcast is at some point you got to pick up your one thing, is what they said. You got to schedule your life around that one thing again. And I think of my sisters and how much sacrifices and how they focus on their kids. And so they don't have to think about what they're focused on right now. They're focused on raising these kids and doing the best jobs they can. So thank God for all you parents out there. Thank God for you, really. But if you don't have kids and you're like me, and I've kind of accomplished a lot of things I wanted. And I got down here to Tucson. I got this Airbnb going. It's literally one of the top Airbnbs by metrics in Tucson. And I didn't even know that till a couple weeks ago. And I'm not happy. This isn't what I want, So what I want to do is talk to you guys. What I want to do is make more content like this. What I want to do is ask cool or ask interesting questions about what we're all going through. And maybe talk in a real way about things we're all gonna go through. I mean, this whole grief journey, guys, what can I say? It's, I've gained some weight. I'm gonna let that go. I've been completely changing what I eat. I still wake up early and I get good sleep. But I think I also need to figure out how to give myself grace at the same time, pick up a new passion. And so this is going to be my new passion is Harley's questions everything. And because I'm questioning everything in my life, I'm questioning, what do I want? Do I want kids? Do I want to be, free and single? Do I want to travel? I think I'm going to travel for a while, guys. I'm working on a deal to have somebody take over my Airbnb, and hopefully that goes through, and you'll see me and Luca on the road. I'm feeling very strongly I want to get on the road and go visit my friends and family. And I'm feeling very strongly like my mind opens up when I get on the road, and I don't need to be in a spot for very long is kind of what I'm feeling on this trip. And I still have a little bit of healing to do. Got still a little bit of soul searching to do. But help me out if you guys if there's something you want Harley to ask a question or go out and go see and do. I have some ideas. I kind of want to visit some of the national parks. Kind of want to do some traveling. But I also want to talk to some folks about how we're going to deal with the chaos. How we're going to deal with investing for the future. That's one thing. I think once I lost $60,000 on a Ponzi scheme, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars on the sale of houses and things a couple times now, and it wasn't enough. I remember the day I think it was like $150,000 got deposited into my checking account, and it didn't feel like it was enough money, guys. And that's something wrong with me. That's something wrong with the way I'm looking at life. Something wrong with the way I'm looking at money in general, scarcity that I've really been exploring lately. And that'll be a question that comes up is, what's enough? How do we value ourselves? How do we literally plan for the future knowing you're not a millionaire? So I got my buddy Bill is going to talk to us about that. But also it's a day by day thing. And that's what I can tell you is I think I'm going to have to start posting more day by day because every day is different. But today I woke up feeling pretty rough in a beautiful spot. And it got me thinking, it got me down a pretty dark rabbit hole because Harley, if you're in this great spot and you're still waking up feeling this way, what hope do you have? And so, I had to be kind with myself. I had to sleep in a little bit. I had to do some meditation and breath work is what's really helped me. And at some point I had to get out and feed Luca. I had to get out and hang out with this awesome little puppy. Look at that. If that's not going to motivate you to get out of bed and get on the trail, he's my little guardian angel. But, that's the Harley's questioning how I can be in a beautiful spot and still feel like crap. And, it's just maybe part of your life's journey. Pick up a Ed Milet podcast. I'll post the podcast I'm listening to. I think it's really good. And, there's going to be bad moments. You're going to wake up not feeling good. But once you start walking, then guess what happened? I felt motivated to pick up my video, talk to you all, and it's going to be a great day. And I don't know when I'll post this. I'm in the middle of nowhere, but I'm going to try and post every day. If any of this helps you guys, share the channel. Know that, you can make those down times a moment, not the whole day. And know that there's other people feeling how you're feeling. You're a human being too. That's where I'm at. Sometimes I feel so alone. I know my family loves me and people are out there. But when I'm at the top, when I'm living my life, I'm oftentimes alone. And it feels alone. And so know that you're not alone. PM me. Respond to this video if you are feeling alone. I would love to reach out. I'm a talker. But I'm also a great encourager. There's no reason for us to feel alone. And even if I have to pick up my camera, record myself so I don't feel alone, that's what I'm gonna do. But here's Harley from Mount Lemon, just trying to get on with my day. Hopefully you guys check out Ed Milet and know that you're not alone. Know that there's gonna be ups and downs, and know that other people like me feel the same way, and it'll be okay. Love you all.